race of the weekend for the Hell Performance British Motostar Championship, the Moto 3 and 125 GP mix, and a great start by Scott Deroue. Jake Archer was on pole, but he got sucked back into the pack, and it was the orange red line KTM. Former runners-up, of course, but never actually winners in this championship, and this was the race in which they could seal it. Ed Rendell riding hard as ever. The tall lad from Chelmsford on the #1 yellow Banks Racing Honda. Also in there, despite his elbow injury from messing about on his little electric trials iron last night, is Taz Taylor. Scott Deroue running at the front though, and then as they fan out along the main straight, terrific drive from Taz Taylor on the right, sensibly KTM drafts him to the front. Danny Sayers, the Spaniard, running in 4th place. And these four enjoying a terrific scrap. Look at Danny Sayers round the outside, whooping it up through Stowe Corner. He's ahead now of both Scott Deroue and Ed Rendell, and Taz Taylor actually manages to grab himself a bit of daylight at the front for the first time in the race. And Scott Deroue dives back, trying to get the better of the boy from just outside Madrid. And then this big moment for Danny Sayers as they go hurtling into Stowe Corner. He somehow survives that unscathed. His bike doesn't. Scott Deroue wins it by a whisker from Taz Taylor and takes the championship.
Well, from pole position, Josh Elliott knew what he had to do. He had to get out there and ride very hard, but there were 5 or 6 other guys who had a very different point of view and indeed a different agenda. Not least of all, Alistair Seeley, who was working his way from 8th place on the grid. He very quickly made ground on the leaders. Hudson Kennedy on the orange bike did really, really well. These BMWs are so quick here at Silverstone. And Josh Elliott fighting hard all the way, found himself relegated. And Luke Quigley, number 51, had a good, strong spell at the front. Quigley, very much a championship contender and has done so well throughout the season, was determined to finish the season in style. Still with 2 rounds to go when these guys get the Brands Hatch. It was all to play for here at Silverstone. Quigley then eventually succumbed to the onslaught from Alistair Seeley, the wee wizard, who put the Tyco BMW by and into the lead and pushed hard and hard and hard. Going into the closing stages, it was going to be a real dogfight, and that turned out to be the snake's end. Passing and repassing underneath Alistair Seeley, pushed him wide, he couldn't get it down on the grass, had to stand it up. He was out of the running, and it was all to play for, resulting in the championship going to Josh Elliott. Fantastic, and he knew the significance of Seeley going out of the running.
The penultimate round of the Pirelli National Superstock 600 Championship took place here at Silverstone, and number 61, Ben Curry, not getting the best of starts. He initially gets off the line in 2nd place. As they go through Copse Corner, though, he's very quickly to the front ahead of Jordan Weaving. So Australian eclipses South African early on and begins to pull away with Andy Irwin from Northern Ireland. Carrick Fergus running in 3rd place. And lots of chopping and changing in mid-pack, as you would expect. Andy Irwin makes a move through into 2nd place. The champion-elect Mason Law is running back in 4th place. And also getting into the picture is Wayne Ryan on the Motor Breakers Kawasaki. But initially, these are the battles going on. Here comes Wayne Ryan, launches up the inside of Andy Irwin. 98 overtakes number 8, slips through into 3rd place. That's as they howl spectacularly through Stowe Corner. And then a move by Mason Law on Andy Irwin. That puts him through into 4th place. Immediately Andy Irwin responds. And places changing everywhere. Here is Mason Law cutting through inside Wayne Ryan. He grabs that 3rd place. And then we have a faller. Jordan Weaving goes out of 2nd place at Copse Corner. Ben Curry wins spectacularly, but behind him, the new champion is congratulated. It is indeed NMT Limits, number 20, Mason Law.
With only 6 points separating the top 2, it was always going to be a close-fought affair over the 8 laps, and it certainly was a close-fought affair. These one-make classes always provide fantastically close racing action, and from the start, it was pretty much Guyver, Leon Morris, and young Brown out there fighting for it. Phil Atkinson also put up a good, strong performance. The race was not without incident, one or two fallers, but Robbie Brown, 43, quickly put his claim in, moving into second place ahead of Rob Guyver, and the battle then raged. But at the front, Leon Morris made his share of mistakes. It has to be said, running wide on one particular incident, which dropped him all the way down to fourth place. But before that happened, Guyver had a serious lunge at him, as indeed did Robbie Brown, almost losing the front end going in. This was the running wide situation that put Leon Morris back behind Phil Atkinson in fourth place. Sean Neary was always in touch, and it was a close fought affair. Leon Morris had a massive task on his hands to fight back from fourth, but he got stuck in. He was very quickly in third, and even challenging at one point again for the lead, running wide one more time to allow Rob Guyver to move through into second place, and that indeed is where Rob Guyver finished. Robbie Brown taking the victory and closing the championship lead down, in fact moving ahead. The only man who could stop Ricky Stevens winning the championship is Andy Peach on the left of the picture, but it all went wrong because charging through, Tony Brown and Lee Kane absolutely got tangled up with Peach and Richardson. The result was that Peach not only nearly crashed, but his wheel arch came off. That meant he could not continue in the race. The wheel arch had gone, so it left the field clear for Stevens and Charlwood to gallop on regardless, and they did. Other outfits caught up in the melee. Martin Kirk and Ben Hughes also suffered sidecar wheel damage. That was rubbing on the tyre. Smoke caused them to retire and drop out of it. John Holden and Stuart Ramsey then got stuck into a massive battle with Sean Hegarty and James Neve, followed by 4 times world champions Tim Reeves and Greg Clues, who sadly retired the Remsey Yamaha one more time with mechanical failure. When they get that bike right, trust me, it will be very quick indeed. Hegarty and Neve were the next to retire, but meanwhile at the front, Stevens and Charlwood making absolutely no mistakes whatsoever, bringing it home to a safe victory and the 2015 Hyundai Heavy Industries British F1 Sidecar Championship title. Well done, lads. Brilliant stuff. Holden got second place, and third on the podium, Lovelock and Alto, the Driver Wolf team. But they're the new champions.